Have you ever seen God? When you walk out the door, you are engulfed in God's beauty. It surrounds us on all sides. With this in mind, we took to the streets of St. Pius to discover their individual experiences with God. Welcome to our journey through the hearts and halls of St. Pius X.
All right. Is there a specific moment in your life when the presence of God was particularly vivid to you?
I can think about a time when I really recognized, had kind of an encounter, I would say, with God. And it would be when I was in Rome, Italy, in the spring of 1988. We went to a papal audience, and Father Lopez, when I was a senior, had given me a rosary during class. It was one of the situations we were praying rosary in the theology class. And so anyhow, at the end of class, I'd gone back to give him this rosary, and he said, no, you can keep that. It belonged to one of my good friends. So anyhow, have this rosary, still have it today. Took it with me to Rome and went to a papal audience where the Pope then went around after the audience and, greeted people, etc. And so while I was there, I put out the rosary there in my hand for him to bless or whatever. And when he touched that, a very clear presence across everything was just you would say kind of electric type of thing, but you could actually feel that. And so I knew at that time that at that very minute that the Pope had been the one to deliver that feeling, to deliver God and the Virgin Mary and all right there at that time to the rosary, and then through Father Lopez's friend. And so anyhow, I told him about that story shortly thereafter, but very particularly moving moment and overwhelming feeling of God and also Mary.
The power of God influences everyone very particularly, whether when in Rome or watching baseball.
Is there a specific moment in your life when the presence of God was particularly vivid to you?
Yes, when the Cubs won the World Series.
Why is that?
Because they haven't won 108 years and my whole family is from Chicago. Jesus made that happen. November 3rd, 2016, 12:47 a.m. It's the only miracle I've ever seen in my life.
God truly is everywhere, whether in the stands, on the field, or with the birth of a new life.
Is there a specific moment in your life when the presence of God was particularly vivid to you?
Well, in my many years of life, there have been numerous times when God's been present in my life. It'd be hard to name them all. Most significantly probably would be the birth of my children. There were 3 boys, and that was a magnificent experience. And then when my grandchildren were born, there's just something about life and birth that speaks nothing but God. And most recently, I think the thing that has been for me a personal and very meaningful experience, again with life only at the end of life. My mother is 92 years old, and in the past 8 months she's had a lot of medical catastrophic things happening to her that have resulted in her having to be admitted and spend time in the hospital and be diagnosed with dementia. And all through it's been 8 months since we've been dealing with this as a family. And throughout that whole time, there have been many, many times when, not only for me, but I can see God working through her, even in her declining state of mind, that she's always relied on God, and that lesson that she taught us as children has come through. I guess most significantly in dealing with this, there's just been times when as a family we haven't known whether she was going to make it or not, And up until the last month, it was a challenge to trust that God was in charge and that whatever the plan was, that we would be okay. Because there's a saying I have here on my screensaver that I read it every day when I turn on my computer, and this is kind of my strength for every day. From Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go.
So when I was in 8th grade, over that summer, I went to a summer camp. It was like Camp Highlands. It was sort of a Christian summer camp, and I was not really sure about the whole like God thing, but I went anyway, and I was with a friend. And over the course of that week, I really bonded with my cabin mates, and like I think Thursday night we ended up having a really deep discussion with each other and like our religious experiences and past. And it was really like an intimate moment, and it was there that I kind of felt God really keenly, because it was just us sort of connecting at camp. You know, we'd done all sorts of activities and stuff, and I went away from that feeling really happy and sort of inspired religiously, and that sort of shaped my experiences for a long time to come.
Thank you for joining us on our journey through the hearts and halls of St. Pius X.
Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I worship Your holy name.